Prime Minister setting the tone for Lok Sabha 2024. Let's quickly cut across to Moshmi, my colleague, joining us right outside Parliament, joining me in the studio, consulting editor Rajdeep Sardesai. We'll also be joined by Sanjay Singh, consulting editor, and Rashid Kidwai, political analyst. Let's cut across to Moshmi first. Moshmi, break it down for us. What were the reactions opposite the Treasury benches? Prime Minister's big assault in his final speech this tenure from the Treasury benches.
Preeti, it was a very attacking speech and we could hear some jeering and some condemnation from the opposition benches. But with the absence of Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi present, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in fact, showcased the Congress party as a hopeless party without a vision, its own cadre and leaders looking for the Rajya Sabha route, many of them not even wanting to contest elections. Also went on to elaborate about how family politics had destroyed not only the hopes of millions of the countrymen and women, but also of the Congress, devastated the Congress party, and the likes of Kharge and Azad were actually, their careers were destroyed. So, and even talking about the fact that how relaunch of Rahul Gandhi, the party was obsessed with that. It was how it was running, a party was in slow motion with several schemes. If it was for UPA, would have been implemented in decades or more than 60 years. So ideally, the Congress party, we would have heard a lot of commotion, a lot of noise, but it was left to Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, sometimes to Gaurav Gogoi, to actually hit back. And the fact that Prime Minister Narendra Modi yet again, in I think one of the most attacking speeches, a very election speech, attacked the internal core of the Congress party, that is the dynastic politics, talking about Nehru, talking about Indira Gandhi, and how they really didn't believe in the idea of India and didn't have confidence and had a very demeaning attitude towards the Indian citizens. And therefore, the Congress party had very little to hit back.
Well, maybe interesting. The Congress really doesn't have much bench strength where the Lok Sabha is concerned in any case, and definitely not very, good speakers on that account. But having said that, Moshmi, stay with me. Let's bring in our guest this evening, Rajdeep Sardesai. There was nothing else expected from this speech. It had to be an out-and-out election speech. His final speech this term in Parliament, taking on Nehru, taking on Indira Gandhi, multiple times, taking on Rahul Gandhi as well.
I saw your slug saying fiercest attack of Prime Minister Modi since 2014. The fact is, every attack of his, go through all his speeches in Parliament, have been an attack on the opposition. There's a familiar trope, and let me tell you what the trope is. Parivarvad equals Gandhis, corruption equals Congress, Viksit Bharat equals Modi, and Namdar versus Kamdar. Now, we've heard this before. He was just a little bit more aggressive about it. It was classical populist demagoguery for which Mr. Modi is very practiced, where he claims in a way to stand for the people, the citizens, versus the old elite represented by the Congress. He reflects upon his achievements, but places them in contrast to a pre-India of 2014. Almost as when India was an area of darkness before 2014, that there was Mehengai, there was Garibi, and all of that is changing after 2014. Interestingly, names Nehru about a dozen times, names Indira a couple of times. You're right. In the past, he's never really targeted Indira Gandhi. This time, even Indira Gandhi was drawn in. But the Nehru obsession in particular is alive, well and truly kicking. When you look at Nehru's speeches from Red Fort in 1949-50, India was in a very different place. But Mr. Modi wants to juxtapose himself in a way and contrast himself to Prime Minister Modi. I thought, Preeti, his analysis of the Congress was very interesting. If I was an edit page writer, I'd say Mr. Modi could write a good editorial on the Congress party, because he's right. When he suggests it revolves around a Shahi Parivar, when it's seen to be entitled, lazy, slow motion, I think all these criticisms have been made by the Congress by many of us, and Mr. Modi is echoing them. What is interesting is he stayed away from attacking regional parties. So when the Prime Minister speaks about 370 seats for the BJP, 400 for the allies, he's effectively also wooing, I think, some of the regional parties or some of the floating parties who could be part of a post-poll NDA coalition. So you're right, it's an election speech, but it's a speech that also seeks to define what the personality cult of Prime Minister Modi represents a sense of this muscular nationalism that has defined Prime Minister Modi over the last decade.
You know, Sanjay Singh, I want to bring you in, holding no prisoners at all, attacking the Gandhis in particular. But one thing was made very clear. He steered clear, other than just once, talking about how, this India alliance is not really coming in together. Other than that, he focused his attack clearly on the Congress party and not so much on the India alliance.
See, the politics is bipolar as it is. The BJP leads one pole and Congress leads another pole. BJP knows that Congress is down and Rahul Gandhi's Nyaya Yatra is not gathering any traction. In fact, India alliance is kind of withering away. As it is, Congress is, there are a whole lot of other problems in Congress. But Congress is one party where you'll find a Congress worker in every nook and corner across the country. And the Congress has the potential, as he says, for next few decades you are going to sit there. But who after those next few decades, if at all we are hypothetically we are going to believe that next few decades are going to be difficult for Congress. Now that psyche to break Congress, to talk about Nehru, to talk about, because Nehru and Indira Gandhi were a revered figure. So till such time you attack at the very foundation and also the current leadership, that is of Rahul Gandhi, motor mechanic bhi aajkal ho gaye hain, but their own alignment, despite learning motor mechanics role, the own alignment is faulty. Rahul Gandhi had gone to Karol Bagh to a bullet bike store, to bullet mechanic store, and therefore he had also